Hey parents, how you doing? This has been a challenging week for all of us, and I thought today that I would send a video specifically addressing you, the wonderful parents who are now helping out with the education of your children, more so than you ever have before. And so I wanted to do something similar to what I did for the kids yesterday, which was 5 tips for distance learning. And I'm going to do 5 tips for you, not necessarily for distance learning, but just for what the new challenges that we're facing. So tip number 1 for parents is a schedule. That was tip number 1 for your kids too. Try to get a schedule together for your kids, for yourself. If you're working from home now, it's important to have that schedule. I have found that having a schedule for us at home has been super helpful, including a specific time to get up. Even if my daughters are sleeping, my son never sleeps. He's always up before 6. But my daughters are more of sleepers than he is. And I am forcing myself to wake them up just so that we can get going with our day. So having a schedule is number 1. Your kids typically, it sounds like most of them have been using their school schedule in terms of how they're going through their day. So that if that's working for them, that's perfect. Kind of just figure out as a family what will work the best for you, especially if you have limited number of devices. I know in our family, my laptop is one of our only devices. So scheduling out time for who's going to use what is important too. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is think of a place in your house that you can kind of devote to being a school space. And that may be easier said than done. Our formal dining room is very rarely used other than to set stuff on the table. And so I've kind of turned part of that into my office, and then the other part I'm turning into our school area. I have felt this week like when we have a designated place for school, the kids are in more of a mind frame for learning. So setting aside a space that's specifically for school might be helpful for you too. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3. As an adult, try to still connect, especially if you're working from home, to one another outside of the house, people that you aren't able to physically see, and also encourage your child to connect with us and with our classmates. We have a lot of opportunities. There's my YouTube channel, of course, and I would love for you to be a subscriber if you aren't already, and I, of course, would love for your children to subscribe so they get updates on the videos when I'm posting them. But we also have Zoom sessions every weekday at 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. And the purpose of those is for read to self time, which is how we normally start every reading class. But we also have been taking some time to just chat and kind of just see how everyone's doing and get to see one another's faces, which is wonderful. So make sure that you are reaching out to ask about that if you aren't sure how to get your child hooked in with that. We had 26 yesterday in our afternoon session, and that was our record so far. I would love to get 30 or more on Monday. So if your child hasn't been able to Zoom with us yet, please encourage him or her to do so next week. Other ways to connect, if you're on Facebook, St. Wenceslas Church and St. Wenceslas School both have awesome Facebook pages and have been doing a lot of things with distance learning on the school page. And then on the church page, there have been all kinds of opportunities, live Stations of the Cross, masses every day, and read-alouds, all kinds of great things to help you stay connected. And to me, that has been very comforting. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out yet, please do that soon too. And then Twitter is another option. I know not quite as many people seem to be on Twitter, but I do have a classroom Twitter account. It's at Mrs. Phillips, room 29. It's RM29. So I would love for you to follow me. And St. Wenceslas also has a Twitter account, so Twitter is another good way to connect. Tip number 4, have fun with this. It's something different and it can be stressful. Sorry, there's a really loud noise outside, so I don't know if you're hearing that or not. But have fun with the fact that you have your kids home, which I know is easier said than done sometimes. But themed days might be something that you want to try. You could do pajama day. Maybe Friday is a good day for pajama day. You get to stay in your PJs all day. Bring your pet to school day. We don't ever get to do that in real life. So maybe the dog or the cat get to hang out while they're doing their work on a particular day. Crazy hair day. Just be creative and have fun with it. Also, this is a really good opportunity to play games with your kids. Some of my personal favorites, I am a big board game person and I'm a little bit competitive, but my a few of my favorites are Blockus. If you don't have Blockus, there's like 4 different versions of it. We own all 4 because I love it so much. It's a strategy game and it's super fun. Classic Blockus is probably my favorite. It's not called Classic Blockus, but it's a square. It's kind of like Tetris, but a little bit, there's a different slant on it. So it's very, very exciting and fun. Spot It is really fun. There's all kinds of variations of Spot It too. And then a game that you could play with just a deck of cards. It's called 24, and it's a great math game. You set out 4 cards, whatever first 4 cards are on top, and then you can only use each card once, and you have to use each card once, and then you add, subtract, multiply, or divide to get to 24. And you want to try to be the first person to get to 24. I love that game. It's super fun and challenging. And of course, it's a speed game because you want to try to be the first one to get to 24. Tip number 5, breathe. This is rough, but we will make it through. We are all in it together, and please know that we are here for you. I am not expecting you to do my job for me. I am just so grateful to you that you are doing everything you can to help my beautiful, wonderful students who I miss so terribly be successful, as you always do. Thank you for stepping up into more of an educator role than normal, but please know that we are here for you. Email us, let us know what we can do to support you, because that's what we want to do. We love your kids and we miss them. So good luck and happy weekend.